Hi everyone, and I welcome you to a session on artificial neural networks. Let us first discuss on what is deep learning. Deep learning is the most exciting and powerful branch of machine learning. In deep learning, a computer model learns to perform classification tasks directly from images, text, or sound. Deep learning models can achieve state-of-the-art accuracy, sometimes exceeding human-level performance. Models are trained by using a large set of labeled data and neural network architectures that contain many layers. Deep learning models can be used for a variety of complex tasks. First is artificial neural networks for regression and classification. Second is convolutional neural networks for computer vision. And the third one is recurrent neural networks for time series analysis. In this section, we'll be discussing about artificial neural networks. So artificial neural networks, or ANN, is an information processing paradigm that is inspired by the way the biological nervous system such as the brain processes information. It is composed of a large number of highly interconnected processing elements or neurons working in unison to solve a specific problem. The topics covered in this section for artificial neural networks are neurons, activation functions, types of activation functions, and how do neural networks work. Let us look at what are neurons. Biological neurons, also called nerve cells or simply neurons, are the fundamental units of the brain and nervous system. The cells responsible for receiving sensory input from the external world via dendrites process it and give the output through axons. You can make out how a neuron looks like through this diagram. Next, coming to a perceptron. This diagram here represents the general model of an artificial neural network which is inspired by a biological neuron. It is called as perceptron. A single layer neural network is called a perceptron. It gives a single output. In this figure, for one single observation, x0, x1, x2, x3, etc., xn represents various inputs or independent variables to the network. Each of these inputs is multiplied by a connection weight or synapse. The weights are represented as W0, W1, W2, W3, etc., Wn. Weight shows the strength of a particular node. B is a bias value. A bias value allows you to shift the activation function up or down. In the simplest case, these products are summed, fed to a transfer function or an activation function to generate a result, and this result is sent as output. Mathematically, it is represented as this equation. Now the activation function is applied. The activation function is important for an ANN to learn and make sense of something really complicated. Their main purpose is to convert an input signal of a node in an ANN to an output signal. This output signal is used as input to the next layer in the stack. Next, coming to the types of activation functions, there are different types of activation functions. In this section, I will be only discussing about sigmoid activation function and rectified linear units. You can explore on the other types of activation functions on your own. First is the sigmoid activation function or the logistic function. A sigmoid activation function is a mathematical function having a characteristic S-shaped curve or sigmoid curve which ranges between 0 and 1. Therefore, it is used for models where we need to predict the probability as an output. The sigmoid function is differentiable, meaning we can find the slope of the curve at any 2 points. The drawback of the sigmoid activation function is that it can cause the neural network to get stuck at training time if strong negative input is provided. Next, coming to the rectified linear units or the ReLU function. ReLU is the most used activation function in CNN and ANN, which ranges from 0 to infinity. It gives an output x if x is positive and 0 otherwise. It looks like having the same problem of linear function as it is linear in the positive axis. ReLU is non-linear in nature and a combination of ReLU is also non-linear. In fact, it is a good approximator and any function can be approximated with a combination of ReLU. Now coming to how do neural networks work. Let us take the example of the price of a property, and to start with, we have different factors assembled in a single row of data as area, bedrooms, distance to city and age, as you can see in the given diagram. The input values go through the weighted synapses straight over to the output layer. All four will be analyzed, an activation function will be applied and the results will be produced. This is simple enough, but there is a way to amplify the power of the neural network and increase its accuracy by the addition of a hidden layer, and that sits between the input and the output layers. You can see there is a hidden layer which has been added into the previous diagram. Now in this figure, all four variables are connected to neurons via a synapse. However, not all of the synapses are weighted. They will either have a zero value or a non-zero value. Here, the non-zero value indicates the importance. Zero value will be discarded. Let's take the example of area and distance to city are non-zero for the first neuron, which means they are weighted and matter to the first neuron. The other two variables, bedrooms and age, aren't weighted and so are not considered by the first neuron. Now you may wonder why that first neuron is only considering two of the four variables. In this case, it is common on the property market that larger homes become cheaper the further they are from the city, right? That's a basic fact. So what this neuron may be doing is looking specifically for properties that are large but are not so far away from the city. Now this is where the power of neural networks comes from. There are many of these neurons, each doing similar calculations with different combinations of these variables. Once this criterion has been met, the neuron applies the activation function and does its calculations. The next neuron down may have weighted synapses of distance to the city and bedrooms. This way, the neurons work and interact in a very flexible way, allowing them to look for specific things and therefore make a comprehensive search for whatever it is trained for. Next, coming to how we train an ANN. The step 1 is randomly initialize the weights to small numbers close to 0 but not 0. Then coming to the next step, step 2, input the first observation of your dataset in the input layer, each feature in one node, as you had seen in the previous picture. Coming to the step 3, we'll apply forward propagation. That is, from left to right, the neurons are activated in a way that the impact of each neuron's activation is limited by the weights. Propagate the activations until getting the predicted value. Then step 4 says compare the predicted result to the actual result and measure the generated error or the cost function. In step 5, we apply backpropagation. That is, from right to left, the error is backpropagated. Update the weights according to how much they are responsible for the error. The learning rate decides how much we update weights. In step 6, we repeat the steps from 1 to 5 and update the weights after each observation. And this is exactly what is called as reinforcement learning. And in step 7, when the whole training set passes through the ANN, that makes an epoch, and redo more epochs. That's all about the basic introduction on artificial neural networks. You can visit many other websites and watch many more YouTube videos to know more about artificial neural networks. Thank you so much.